Manchester City 3, Red Star Belgrade 1 in a match that was surprising, I guess, at the end of the first half. The fact that Red Star took the lead with not much created off a counter-attack, and then City getting three unanswered goals and eventually winning by a score of 3-1. I usually like to start these off with the starting lineups and surprises and kind of my feelings. Jiga started at center back, which was a little bit surprising to me. He came over from Basel on loan, and basically his first action in Red Star kit is against Manchester City as a starter. So that had me a little worried, I would say. I thought he played excellent considering, again, first match and against an opponent like City. Crasso not starting was a little bit of a surprise with NDI playing up top. Olenka's exclusion, I don't think surprised me that much. Mihailovic playing at um, right back, I guess, was somewhat surprising as well. You knew he was going to be in the starting lineup. You just didn't kind of know where he fit in, and I just assumed that he was going to play center back, where he's been exceptional since rejoining Red Star. Um, but you start up the game. Glazer was absolutely outstanding. I think that second goal, which I'll eventually get to, I thought he was outstanding. Made a ton of, I would say, probably 4 or 5 world class stops from close distance, from long distance. The stop on Rodri in the 22nd minute, I thought was outstanding, where he just kind of got his arm up and the ball hit him kind of in the forearm area, was outstanding. The header from, I think it was Julian Alvarez, or it could have been Holland, that he stopped as well. Defensively, I think we kept our shape for the entire first half, and honestly, throughout the entire match, we kept our shape and we blocked a lot of shots, which I think was very important. Now, when you block shots, sometimes they go out for a corner kick, and then the opposition threatens yet again. That I was worried about a little bit about set pieces as well. I think there was 2 or 3 set pieces in the first half that City had that we had to react better. We gave them pretty much open headers, which you can't do against a team like City. Bernardo Silva, I think, tried to create a lot in the, I guess, 32, 33 minutes he was on the pitch. Fortunately for him, he had to go off. I assume that he was injured. I don't see why he would have been subbed off like that, or at that point in the match. Wishing him a speedy recovery. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But Doku came on and he gave us problems as well with his speed, although I think we neutralized him as much as we possibly could. I think the scariest part about footballers with speed is they can just kill you with that speed. And it doesn't take much for them to turn on a dime and either, score or set someone else up. But the goal, I thought, was we scored at the perfect time. I mean, you scored it right before halftime. Great take from Huang to get the ball to Ivanic, who first times it to Bukhari in a through ball. He has no issues with beating Ederson. Obviously went to VAR. Bukhari was onside, and pandemonium. Everyone's happy. I was thrilled because it's football like this, and I if you're listening to me for the first time, I've always said that even if a team has 12% possession in a match, they're gonna at some point they are going to create something. They're gonna get a chance. It's almost impossible for a team to not create a chance in a match, whether they have 10% possession, 30, 50, whatever the case may be. And we took that chance in the first half. One thing I'll say is about the match as a whole, I was completely disappointed with our passing and our decision making in the final third. There's a lot of passes, especially in the first half, where we did catch City off the counterattack that had to be better. One was Mitrovic, where he was in open space. He cut in from the left wing, and he's kind of the middle of the pitch, and he sends a ball way too long for I think it was Bukhari, probably was, because he's on the opposite wing. Just way too long, and just simple passes where it just make it simple, organize the play a little bit. I think Huang did that exceptionally well, whereas everyone else kind of panicked a little bit. There was a bunch of passes that deflected off our players, and it gave City a counterattack off potentially our counterattack, and that's where we're kind of on the back foot a little bit. That needs to improve ASAP. The simple passes in matches like this, where you're not going to get plenty of chances, have to be spot on. Just like that pass from Ivanic to Bukhari. Second half, we start and City scores a goal right away. Well taken, 1-2 with Holland and Julian Alvarez. I think Julian Alvarez was one of the better players today for City. Obviously, Rodri I believe got player of the match, fully deserved. I just class by himself in the midfield area. But the 1-2, he kind of gets the ball past Omri Glazer and slots it into the open net. I think that Jiga could have done a little bit more on that. The ball's kind of rolling into the back of the net, and he's just kind of walking towards it. I think if he slide tackles, he at least tries to get the ball before it crosses the line. That's just one play that I kind of pointed out. Other than that, I thought he was really good again. For his first appearance in a Red Star kit, I thought he played really well. Probably our best center back. The second goal, again, Julian Alvarez off a free kick that Glazer tries to punch. He punched it, but into the back of his own net. I would have liked him see control the ball, not punch it, just grab it in the air. I think in hindsight it's easy to say that now, but I can't hold it against him. Like I said, literally four to six world class stops that he had. I think 2 or 3 in the first half and another 2 or 3 in the second half. So it is what it is. Again, it's hard to hold it against him, and I don't, because he was really good today, I thought. But that's a play that you kind of need to just grab the ball. I understand punching it might be a little bit easier. And then there was a play, I think it was just a little bit before that, where he should have caught it, where he kind of slid for it and he should have caught it, but he kind of bobbled it. And luckily he stopped, I believe it was Holland on the follow up to keep it at that point. I believe it was still 1-1. It's before the second goal. And then the Rodri's third goal, I mean, we just kind of caught sleeping a little bit. Jean-Philippe Crasso didn't challenge him very well. And I don't think anyone else picked him up, and he just kind of walked the ball from inside the box and slotted it into Glazer's left-hand side. Nothing that he could do about it. But the defending on that play needs to be a lot better. You have so many players. We basically defended with 8 or 9. You have so many players in a tight space. You can't allow a play like that to happen and for them to score and to make it now impossible to come back 3-1 result. Would have loved to see what would have happened in the match if it was 2-1. I think Huang had a chance at, I think it was 2-1, or maybe it was 3-1, where Bukhari kind of slid the ball to him, and it was just the shot was way too soft and right into Ederson's hands. Ivanic had the ball at half, where he kind of took on defenders, and from about 22, 23 yards out, was wide left. That's the ball you have to get on net. I think you have to test Ederson as much as possible. And look, Ederson had 3 or 4 times where he came out of goal, out of his 18-yard box. I think we have to do better as a team to contest that. In the field of play, I think it was NDI who in the second half, where Ederson tried to put the ball kind of behind his leg and to get it to a defender. I think you have to challenge a little bit better in that situation as well, because if you get the ball, the goalkeeper's 30, 35 yards out of goal, out of the net. If NDI gets that, he can try to have a shot from there, or he can slide it off to a midfielder who's kind of pinching in, and he could have a go on net. So I think that's the part that had to improve. Once Ivanic and NDI went off, I think we looked like a different team. So Crasso and Oleinka came on, didn't provide too much for the team. Although at that point, City was pretty much starting to kill the match off. 3-1 already. They're just trying to get past the finish line at this point. But in terms of, I think that we could have got something maybe a little bit more out of this match, at least another goal. Would have loved a draw. I mean, to start the Champions League campaign off with a draw to Manchester City, that would have been huge for us. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it. And the 2 worst times to concede a goal is right before halftime and right after halftime. Go figure, we scored right before halftime and they scored right after halftime. So it didn't take City long to reply. And I think that's what you expect from a team with so much quality to kind of strike and to put the game out of doubt, which is exactly what they did with those 2 I shouldn't say late goals, but those goals in succession. And like I said, I think that we defended well. For the most part, Giga seems like a player that we will be able to count on. He's on loan from Basel. We'll see what happens with the buyout and whatever happens at the end. I'm happy that we fought very hard. Like every shot that they had in the second half, or in the first half, I should say, felt like it was contested. Felt like we blocked a lot of shots, like I said, which was also very important. And yeah, I think if we were just a little bit more, if we had more finishing, maybe this game finishes differently. Who knows? It's stupid to talk about that now because we really don't know. But um, good performance, I would say overall. I don't know if we could have expected anything else. But we move on to the next match, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Um, Happy with the performance, but obviously a draw would have been great. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the match. Were there any surprises in terms of the starting lineup? What adjustments would you make? And your outlook on where Red Star could finish in this group. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch up again down the road.